So it's been a minute. Excuse my voice, I'm kind of sick. But the other day I was sent a video. And while I watched that video, it touched me so profoundly because I felt that last week when all this was happening, that God was continuously talking to me every single day. When this person sent me this video, I looked at myself and I saw my joy. I saw my purpose. I saw where and who my trust lied in, who I confided in, and most importantly, who I believed in, no matter what was going on around me. And I think life has a tricky way of desviándonos or distracting us from the one and only who we have to trust in and believe, so that we always have assurance that everything's working out for our good. Life has been going so fast that I never took a moment and stepped back and saw who I was converting into or changing into. I always talked about trusting in God and believing in Him and praying and fasting. And I thought I did those things, but I wasn't doing it 100% like I should have been. Many changes happened with me, my body. I experienced a loss that till this day breaks my heart. But then I was blessed again. So it just all made sense, you know? And now I'm blessed with such a big blessing in my life that every time I look at Him, it makes me realize more and more every day who I am and who I need to be. And I can look back at things and in my life in the past year and a half, and I look at my relationship, I look at myself, and I'm like, what happened to Stephanie? And I feel like God always arrives on time, because now that I have my son, everything is just making sense. I think there comes a point in time where God hits you so hard. He's like, listen to me. This time, listen to me. And you're like, you look back at everything and you might think to yourself, God, but I already apologized about this and I apologized about that. And then He goes, but did you really? I became so angry at others people's reaction towards me, or how people didn't value me, or how people didn't respect or prioritize us, that I allowed it to build up in me so much. But you know what? At the end of the day, I shouldn't have had to done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have allowed God to do it. In part, there was times that I did feel important and treasured and a priority. And then I felt when things would come against us, this person would come against me. And instead of coming as a team and going against the problem and trying to come up together with the resolution so that we both felt comfortable, I possibly, without wanting to, made my love feel like I was more attacking him, when that was never my intention. There's possibly a time where I misunderstood him and I thought he was coming against me or putting other people first, because that's how it made me feel. That's what I saw. But the reality is that possibly, maybe he wasn't. And I just allowed these third-party surroundings around us to affect our relationship. And that was never my intention. Long story short, God's timing is always perfect. I feel like in this mega chaos that I'm living these past few weeks, this month and a half, and then this past week and a half, when God's been speaking to me so profoundly, so strong, that even though for others it might not be believable, but for me it is very believable. It just shows me that God's working on my masterpiece, that even though I might not see it right now, I know He's doing a mighty thing. Imagine you're a first-time passenger in a spacecraft, and you're in a seat, And you look around and you see all these new gadgets and these flashing lights and these buttons that you've never seen before. And you're trying to figure out how to control this. But then you remember there's an expert pilot at the front that's guiding you on this trip. That you don't have to have control of it. That you never had to. Your job is not to understand every budgeting gadget. Your job is to trust the one that has all the knowledge and all the understanding. The one who has the ability to get you to your destination safely and with many blessings. Just like in Jeremiah 29:11, it says he has the plans for good for us, not to harm us, but to give us an amazing ending. Just like the story with Abigail, David, and her husband, where her husband disrespected David in such a way that David pretty much wanted to take revenge on him. But Abigail decided to step up and fight the good fight in prayer and be wise. That saved her household. But not only that, it stopped David from reacting irrationally. Her ability to see beyond the immediate crisis and to trust solely in God is what got her the victory. You see, God can use our wisdom and courage when we allow him to completely overtake our mind, and he can turn chaos into an unexpected blessing and victory. I have many feelings about different things in my life, in my relationship, with our families. But one thing for sure that God has showed me these past few days is that I shouldn't care about the surroundings. I should have my eyes fixed on God and have my eyes fixed on what he blessed us with, which is our child, our relationship. Even though we're on a rocky path right now, and we might look at each other and see there's no resolution, but God reminds me of his promises is in love. God reminds me why we were ever put together, even though sometimes we're like, there's no way God did this. But I remember many of God's signs. 143, when we were at a random clock tower, and that clock should never just randomly stop at that number. It should only stop every hour. When we had our first miscarriage, and 2 days after the birth date of our first child, we found out we were pregnant with our second. I realized that I needed to let God be God. Keep praying for my relationship, my family, my love. Because no matter how much we might hate each other right now, that man is my love, my best friend. But for any change to occur in him, it has to start with me. So ladies, I say all this because it's time for you to stop and get yourself back. No matter what situations you have going on with him, with yourself, get yourself back. Pray for your relationship, pray for your home. But for anything to change in life, it starts with you. Get your faith back, get your fun self back, get your love back. If you're single, pray for your future spouse, for your future family. If you're in a relationship or it's complicated, pray. That person found love with you for such and such reasons. And I'm pretty sure it had to do with the love you had for God, how you carried yourself, that fun you had inside of you. Get it back. Tell the enemy, tell yourself, enough. Like that one slogan, it goes, she's back. Get back to it, girl. Or guy. Let God. He can do in an instant what you can't do in years. Like I pray for my family, pray for yours. And remind yourself who you are. Remind the enemy who you are. Take back that authority. Take back yourself. Take back your family. Take back your relationships. Take back your happiness. And to my love, when you watch this, we love you.